What's going on, guys? It's Eric again, back with another video. Today is Sunday, the 30th of November of 2025, Thanksgiving weekend. I hope everyone had a great Thanksgiving and you were there with friends and family and whatnot. Hopefully the stuff with the TSA and all the government shutdown kind of stuff that's been going on and the weather hasn't stifled your travel plans. Hopefully you'll be seeing this today or in the near future. So I just wanted to say from me to you a very happy Thanksgiving. I know I haven't been on here in a while. Um, just gonna admit, haven't had a whole lot of desire to kind of do a sports channel, but there was a couple of things I kind of put out there on Twitter that a couple people kind of wanted to see on here. So one person in particular, which he's a subscriber, and I want to say to you, thank you for kind of giving me just a teeny tiny bit of motivation to even do this. So thanks to you. Got a script I'm going to go by right over here about the Lions game yesterday. I didn't really watch Michigan and Ohio State, even though I seen Ohio State won and they kind of dominated. I didn't really watch it, so it's something I'm not going to talk about here in this video. The Pistons are doing well. The Red Wings are surprisingly doing well, but we'll wait to see how long that takes for that to happen. So we're going to stick on the Lions here. And the Tigers really haven't heard much about the Scooble signing or whatnot, or is negotiating, whatever. I haven't really heard anything about that either, any Tigers news for that matter. So I'm going to stick to the Detroit Lions here. So anyway, final score was Packers 31, Lions 24. Jordan Love kind of had a day. He had 4 touchdowns. What else does it say here? Micah Parsons, what a beast that guy is. 2.5 sacks, 4 quarterback hits. Jared Goff really couldn't do nothing, not to his own offense's fault here, which we'll get into that here too. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, he left with a ankle injury, and I didn't hear anything about that. I really haven't looked on Twitter or the Detroit Lions, the website even, to know what his situation is. So let's talk about kind of the game and kind of what happened Thursday. Well, since I've been on this, since the channel's been up, and I haven't really done stuff in a couple of months, let's kind of recap what kind of has been going on here. We thought the first part of or even the very first game against the Packers, we didn't think the offense was really humming all that well. We didn't really get to see them in the preseason, which I think kind of stifled them a little bit in the very first game, and they ended up losing that game to the Packers. And Thursday's game they did too. Kind of as the season rolled on, the offense kind of started to get together under Johnny Morton. Well, now in the last few games, Johnny Morton hasn't. Well, as far as I know, I'm just gonna kind of say it how it is. The offense is kind of stifled here, and I don't want to say Johnny Morton hasn't been doing his thing, but something has happened to where Dan Campbell now has taken the reins and is calling the offensive plays. Now, I don't know what's kind of going on there or what's happened. But these last few games, the offense has kind of been stifled here, and it's been with injuries and a new offensive line. And Frank Ragnow, even though he's now said he's coming back, and I just seen on Twitter yesterday or day before or whatever, he is not. He didn't clear his physical, so I don't really know what that means now. But Frank Ragnow, it's a big deal on this offensive line because the offensive line is not a cohesive unit. Glasgow has kind of been put in place there to try to be the center, and to me, he's undersized. He was doing well at Michigan when he was a guard when he played for Michigan, but now being a center and in the NFL, he's undersized, and I don't know if he's powerful enough to kind of take on defensive linemen. Maybe he can do it every once in a while. He's better at it at the guard position than he is at the center position, but you would think only just going over one spot would do that. But again, I'm just kind of grabbing stuff out of the air. And really, the offensive line, he's taking his bumps, being a rookie. The other rookie on the other side, I can't remember who it is, but he's taking his bumps too. Decker's injured and getting older too. The offensive line has problems, let's put it that way. And that is I think, is the major point of the game that happened Thursday and these progressively, these losses that have been piling up. We're now 7-5 right now. You could almost say right around the 500 mark, even though we're really not. We're 2 games above 500. But with this 17-game odd game set schedule, pretty much say we're right at the 500 mark, and we're on the certainly on the outside looking in here. The defense is kind of really no better here. You have Branch not doing, I don't want to say not doing his thing, but it doesn't look like the Branch of old, like the 2023 or 2024 Branch that we're looking at here. We're looking at a totally different Branch where he seems out of position. Some have said, some other YouTubers have said he's taken off plays. The really your only good unit is the linebacking core, which I always thought the linebacking core would be kind of the Achilles heel of the defense. Well, it looks like now the defensive line isn't any better. You only have Aiden Hutchinson, which really hasn't done much since his contract signing, and he's coming off an injury, so you got to give him that. He's coming off an injury, even though we're 12 games into the season now. You would think he would. Maybe there's a lingering injury there that he's not 100%, or he feels 100%, but his body's not saying he's 100%. He, like you said, signed that big contract. He really hasn't done much with the team. So you're really only two big, I feel only two are the wide receiver position, which has taken a hit now that St. Brown is out, and you've got the linebacking core defense. The defensive line and the secondary, they need help, and I think what really needs to happen is you have to get some veterans in here. With that, if that means getting rid of some draft picks to get some veterans in, or maybe free agency, which Brad Holmes has said he's not that great at. I take that back. He did not say that he's not that great at. I misspoke. It seems like it's not his forte. His forte is the draft. So there's that. And it's just not the Detroit Lions we've seen the last 2 years. It seems to be the Matthew Stafford era Lions that we're seeing here, and it's just different ways. And I don't mean to be that a blanket statement about the Lions here and Matthew Stafford. They had their own, that team in that era had their own issues. This one seems to be people Shep putting them out on an island here too. I'll take one of the favorite YouTubers that I watch, Everything King. He seems to think that the defense is left out on an island at times, and I would agree with that statement. Robertson got picked on today, and Yasin, he got picked on in the last game against the Giants, which Detroit won. I think they probably should have lost that game, but anyway, here we are, 7-5. But the big thing is here that you have an injury-depleted roster. You have Jamison Williams. Even he's been the bright spot. Jamison Williams has been the bright spot. You have missed opportunities, seems to be all throughout the season of this. The Tim Patrick trade has also hurt us. Let's put it that way. That's hurt us as well. And you have the defensive struggles. That's pretty much it. Offensive woes, defensive woes. You got injuries all over the place. You got Decker trying to play through an injury that he has. It's clearly affecting him. Maybe it's getting better, but his play has not dictated that. He's getting older too. Let's put that out there too. There's just a lot of glaring needs that this team has, and the offensive defensive coordinators going to the Jets with Aaron Glenn and going to the Bears with Ben Johnson. Those two hit pretty hard, and we're gonna go ahead and do those things here as well. So I know that was kind of a long intro here. We're already how long are we in here? 10 minutes in, so you better buckle up, guys. It's going to be a long one. So I touched on a couple things here on the takeaways here where the roster's crap. Glasgow, you got Mahogany. That's the other guy I was trying to find. Sam Laporte is out too. I forgot him. Brock Wright, Khalif Raymond, and now you got Amon-Ra St. Brown. He's out now. The Tim Patrick trade has creeped in here a little bit, I will say. And that not getting the edge rusher on the other end here has said anything too. The Lions kind of staying pat. And the term everyone kind of uses with Brad Holmes, we're good. The Lions are not good. They are not good at all. We already touched on Jamison Williams here. There was missed opportunities everywhere, it seemed like. Especially, they would... What I distinctly remember with the Lions is they would have a good game, and then they would somehow take that gain away from themselves, whether it be a sack, whether it be a loss for yardage, or whether it be a penalty. And it would kind of stifle the offense, and the offense really couldn't get anything going. Not to the point to they couldn't get anything to kind of put Green Bay on their heels. Now, give Matt LaFleur and his coaching staff credit too. They did a good job of having the Lions and making the plays when they had to. Those are the two big things. You have a playmaker over there. Even people say Jordan Love is an okay quarterback. He's got playmakers over there. That's the deal. Even that 2023-2024 season of the Lions, if they had playmakers there and a good offensive line and a decent defense, that takes you very far in the NFL. A 15-2 record. Now we got stifled in the playoffs that year, and the last year we hit the NFC Championship game. So there's that here as well. It just seems like this Lion team is just they can't get out of their own way, and I fear they're going to miss the playoffs here. And to me, sitting here in south of Lansing in my quote unquote office here talking about the Lions, this might be a good thing for Detroit. Maybe to get them back to being hungry and missing the playoffs. Well, it can kind of go both ways. I hope it's this way, the one I'm talking about here. I hope it gives them the hunger and it gives them the drive and it gives them not to be complacent with, hey, we're going to make the playoffs anyway, that kind of thing. So there's that. But the other thing it could do is it could send the team down the road of being in irrelevancy again. Not to the point of, hey, the Detroit kind of teetering right on there for quite a while. Not to be having a losing record like I don't think an 0-16 team, but maybe like the Titans, that kind of season where just nothing seems to go right, and you have a severe lack of talent there. You really can't do anything. That's where I fear. That could happen. I shouldn't say a fear, but that very well can happen. But I think it's going to be the other way, that the team is going to actually get hunger and say this is not the Detroit Lions way. Because Dan Campbell, I wanted to talk about Dan Campbell here too. Dan Campbell, well, I don't think won't let that happen. And I give him praise there, but I also give him criticism here too. And I wish if you go out on the Sirius XM site, and I hope this is downloadable. I was listening to on Thanksgiving. I had to come back up here and take care of the dogs. The two dogs are right out here. At the believe it was like the 6-minute mark in the game, Ryan Leaf kind of was being very blunt, and blunt is kind of how you want to hear it. You don't want to sugarcoat things. Don't bullshit us, kind of thing. He had said that, and I'm kind of paraphrasing here because I can't really remember what it is, and I didn't download it here when I made this video. He said that, how did he word it? He said something to the point of, Dan Campbell is too aggressive. He needs to have situational awareness. And I've said that before in the previous videos on this channel. You'll see where I've kind of said that. And he kind of said the same thing with me. He doesn't know when to take the points and when to go for it on a fourth down, or when to go for it, maybe to switch up a play or something like that. His mindset is, and that's what the identity of his team is, we're going to go for it, whether, and basically to say to hell with the consequences if we don't get it. Now they went, I think I seen something 0-6 on fourth down tries, and on third down tries they were bad too. Right, I think they were a little bit up because I think they ended up punting the ball a couple of times, but he went on to say that it was the NFC Championship game back in 2023 where Dan had that kind of the same attitude like he has today, where he went for it when he should have taken a field goal for the points. And I think, I hope Dan Campbell, and I know no one's going to look at this channel and say, hey, send this off to the Detroit Lions. It's all gibberish. I think, though, a lot of the fan base is saying the same thing. I watch videos all the time that say the same thing, where they're talking about Dan Campbell and he's being too aggressive at times, and he needs to take a step back and say, is this the right thing to do, or should we take the points, or should we punt the ball? That's the point that I'm trying to get across to the Lions. It's that I think he's a good motivator. I think there's that, but his play calling too is not very good. You got to leave that up to your offensive coordinator, whoever, or the personal offensive coordinator dictates to say, hey, this is going to happen, or here's the play that we're going to run. That needs to happen too. Um, it's just a lot of things that have happened in the last year have crept into this team and have made them a team that's on the downhill turn now. A lot of people keep saying that the Super Bowl has been closed. Yes, I believe that. I think that door has finally closed. To get it reopened, I think you're going to have to get a mix of some veterans here and the guys that we have on the team that are re-signed. You're going to have, and maybe you're going to have to give up some picks to do that, to get people, and maybe possibly overpay to get this team to be back up to be that Super Bowl contender where they're at the top of the NFC, to get to that area. The Philadelphia Eagles seem to be that team. They seem to be able to retool. Green Bay Packers same way. They had kind of have a down year, but they're seeming to be retooled to be right back up there again. I think they're going to be a top contender in the NFC here very shortly, maybe within the next 2 years. They're going to be contending for the Super Bowl. It's that type of mentality, and the NFC is not getting any any. It's not being a weak division anymore. Is kind of what I'm trying to get out here. You have the Chicago Bears, very good team under that. They finally believing into what Ben Johnson is talking about over there. There's that. You have the Green Bay Packers. They're on their way up. You got J.J. McCarthy, young quarterback, kind of coming back off an injury off his rookie year. But I think the Green Bay Packers, the Minnesota Vikings are you're going to see them kind of get right back into the hunt here. Maybe not this year and next year, the year after, but I think maybe year 4, 5 of JJ, you're going to see this team get the resurgence to coming back up and to being on the NFC. And the Lions, I feel, are if they're going to try to get the division and try to run for a Super Bowl, they have to retool and they have to get a mix of veterans in here with the guys they've already got. Because it's right now, just the draft picks alone are not enough. And the inexperience of the guys are showing kind of here a little bit. And the exit of Ben Johnson has been a big factor here too. Let's not kid ourselves here. So I guess I was going to talk about the game here a little bit, and it's kind of sprawled off into something else here, but that seems to be the theme, and it was the theme today here too, or Thursday, excuse me. The team needs help. It needs help on the offense. It needs help on the defense. Special teams, I think, are okay. It needs help in the coaching area. I'm surprised the team's 7-5. I will admit that. I'm very surprised that the team is 7-5. I thought we were. Shep, I think, is a little bit. Has to bring in some zone plays on here. The team is constructed right now cannot play man-to-man football. They can't, and it's clear. Even the new guys there, they missed assignments and they put the defensive backs on an island and the safeties on an island, just not knowing the plays. It seemed to be what it was. But I'm just a guy here in Lansing that's sitting here watching the football game, kind of thinking, what is going on with this team the last 2 weeks? Actually, you could say the last 3 weeks. So it's just injuries, guys. It is. Anyway, guys, what do you guys think? What I'm saying right and what am I saying wrong? It's probably going to be an unedited video. We're all 20 minutes in here, so hopefully you've got a beverage here like I've got one here. I'm sitting here drinking a Keystone Light cheap beer, guys. I like the beer. So anyway, yeah, sitting here and having a good one. Just plowed the snow, did all that good stuff, and here I am. Anyway, guys, I'm starting to ramble here. Let me know what you guys think. Am I wrong? Am I right? Indifferent? I would really like to know if you've came across this video and you've came across the entire 20-minute video. Let me know what you guys think down below. I'd really like to hear it. Maybe some of the comments I'll put up here a little bit later into the future here. But let me know what you guys think. Give it a thumbs up if you like this video. Give it a thumbs down if you do not, guys. I appreciate that. Also, make sure you hit that subscribe button. Gets it out here. Gets it out to people in that are Detroit Lions fans, maybe even non-Detroit Lions fans, maybe somebody in the industry, maybe like a Rich Eisen, or maybe somebody like a Dan Dan Miller. Maybe somebody might click on it and say, hey, Eric, you're right, you're wrong. Doesn't know. But without those likes and without those subscribes, they're probably not going to get them there. And also, guys, make sure you hit that bell notification so you guys get more videos just like this one. All right, guys. I really hope you guys enjoy this video. Hope to see you guys again soon. Deuces. Take care, guys.